friends! You are probably getting tired of me making videos about the JLPT, but it is over, it is done. Congratulations to everybody who wrote the JLPT on Sunday. すごいお疲れ様です。大変でしたよね。Anyway, so some of you have asked me how the test went, and it's just really long for me to type replies to all of you, so I thought I would make this video. Right, so I wrote the JLPT in the Japanese school. It started at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday for me. I would say in the N3 we were about 11 people, 10? Not even, maybe 9. 3 people in the front row, and then another 3 in the 3, 6, 9. About 9 people who wrote the JLPT. In my group there were 2 hafus, like 日本人とアメリカ人のハーフ. And then there was the N5, which quite a lot of people wrote. N4, which a few people wrote, and then N2 and N1 combined was about 4 people, and in N1 there was only 2 people and they were twins. Right, yeah, so we're after the Japanese school, and we have something here in South Korea called Loadshedding, which is electricity that is being shut off for a certain time period in the day to save electricity. And then the examiners were worried that the load-shedding would inhibit our ability to do the listening tests. So the N1 and N2 people did the listening first. It's usually done right at the end. And then N3 to N5, we did the listening second. A lot of people told me their experience from this year's JLPT was that the listening was really fast and hard. I didn't experience it that way per se. It was fast, but I'm really grateful for the experiences I had to have heard natural Japanese at a natural speed quite a lot, so it didn't make it too difficult for me. But yeah, the listening was fast, and the thing I hate the most is having to do math in Japanese. Like, I can't even do math in English or Afrikaans. And there was this one question. I was some guy going to a restaurant and he had to work out the bill, and it was like a buffet, and then one person couldn't come, and while you were listening, they only played the listening part once. While you were listening, you have to do the calculations in your head, like, okay, one person's not coming, so that's minus 1,000 yen, and they're a group of oh. Luckily, I think I got that one correct because I was speaking to the other people who took the test and we all got the same answer, or we could have all gotten it wrong, but I doubt that. But yeah, so if you are planning on taking JLPT, be prepared for doing math. It's not like complicated division and stuff, but it's addition and subtraction, which is disgusting. Hate math. Then the vocab and the kanji was not too bad. I did cram a lot. I studied a lot. You can check out my previous videos where I show you my study method. A big shout out to my friend Brixton. I know he's watching this. Thank you so much for helping me with kanji. So Brixton took the N2, and he has a really great technique for memorizing kanji, which is focusing on the radicals. And I know that that's something I've left out for a few years, and I was like, radicals, meh. But they're so helpful actually. But you know that the kanjis are made up of pieces of radicals, and that helps you remember how to actually write the kanji, because they always try and trick you in these tests. They will put like 3 kanjis that look so similar, and only one little radical or one part will be different. So it helps to make little mnemonics when you're learning the kanji. So for example, it might be a tree and a person and a hand. I don't know if a kanji like that exists, but for example, then you'd be like, okay, so the kanji for this word is, okay, it's my hand touching a tree, something like that. So make up these little stories for the kanji, and that will help you remember it a lot. So big shout out to Brixton for helping me come up with some of those. There was one vocab word which I did not know at all. So one format that they usually test you in is they give you a word in kanji and sometimes hiragana, and then they give you 4 sentences, and you have to choose the sentence where the word is used correctly. So I got that one wrong, but it was, I think the word was bury, like it was something about gomi, which is trash or garbage, and you burying it in your garden. I'm assuming it's like vegetable waste that you are composting in your garden. But I thought it was something to do with a tree or a flower growing, and I think I cannot remember what the kanji was, but there's something, I think it was maybe water or life or some sort of natural occurrence radical in the kanji, and I was like, oh well, it's got to be a flower growing. But no, it was to bury garbage. So that was really tricky. But I mean, studying for a test like this, there's no, like, nobody tells you study chapter 1 to chapter 6 and you're ready for the test. Like, it really you don't know what you're gonna get. So that was tricky. But overall, I do think I passed definitely the listening and also the vocab and kanji. It really was a lot better than I expected, which I'm really relieved about. Then the hardest part for me was the reading comprehensions, especially the long ones. So you get reading comprehensions which are shorter, like a little newsletter or an advertisement, and it's like, Mrs. Kitamura would like to do this activity with her child at this event, but her child is 5 years old and she would like to do something after that, blah blah blah, which activity would be the best one for her schedule, or something like that. So those are fine. You just have to look very carefully, because sometimes at the bottom of those things they will have these little warnings like, by the way, tickets bought on Tuesday are half price, or you know, those little extras which you really have to look out for. So don't always go for the first answer. You might see something, but then there will be a little disclaimer at the bottom. So always read every single part. The things I struggled with were the longer readings, the comprehension. Longer reading comprehensions are tricky, especially if you read slow. So if you are taking the JLPT, really try and get a lot of reading time in, especially for long pieces. So read as many Japanese articles or as books as you can, because just knowing vocab is not going to help you if you are slow at reading, especially with the time constraints. I finished the grammar and the reading activity with 8 minutes to spare, which I think is alright. So I could go over my stuff, and I took a little nap and it was good. Listening is interesting, and they don't replay it. And oh, a hint that I have, something that really helped me get through the listening, was to make notes while you're listening. So they won't really tell you what the question is while they are talking, the conversation between two people. Make as many notes as you can so that you can quickly look back and see if what you jotted down is the answer to the question. That works especially well for the listening activities where there's nothing on the page. So you can't refer to something and then they'll be like, is it A, something something, B, something something, C, something something. That ABC is not written anywhere. So you have to take your own notes and be like, okay, A is this, B is that, okay, correct answer is that one. And also try and figure out a shorthand for yourself. Don't try and write every kanji if you're doing listening. Like you can write in furigana or kana if you need to, just to jot everything down. Even if you write in romaji, just make sure you know what the listening was about so that you can quickly go back, because they don't replay it for you. And then soon after you've filled in your bubble, they move on to the next reading. So there isn't even time to go back and check your answers. Whereas with any of the other sections, you can skip questions, mark them, go back, work at your own pace within the time frame. Yeah, so that was my general experience. I did make some nice new friends. So we've made a little WhatsApp group where we're gonna practice Japanese with each other. And yeah, that's about it for my experience. So I'm really happy. I'm excited to see my results. I do think I passed, and it did go better than I expected. And if you took the JLPT and you think you did a good job, congratulations to you. I'm really happy for you. If you think you may have failed, or if it was really difficult for you, it is okay. You can always try again next year. Your life doesn't depend on it, and congratulations still to you for putting in all the effort to study. 頑張ってね。じゃあ次の動画見ましょう。See you guys in the next video. Bye bye!